So we're going to build the ice cream cone here, and I'm just going to show you the simple way. It's a slab constructed piece, but the ice cream parts are pinched. And you guys were thinking about maybe doing it, you were inspired by those really realistic looking trompe-l'oeil ice cream cones. So I have two templates here, and using these two templates is how I'm going to construct the cone. So I already pre-cut this piece here, and I rounded it out to make it into a cylindrical shape, and just like in the burger sculpture demonstration, I smeared the seams shut. So I don't need to slip and score it. I'm just smearing it shut so that it's there's some strength to it. When we slip and score the seam, we have to wait for it to get leather hard, otherwise it splits open. You guys have had that experience when you worked with your with the mugs. So now I have my other piece of the template, and I'll label these for the ice cream cone. We have just a rectangular slab that's been cut out, and I'm going to actually slip and score that piece to the top section of the cone. So this part, this little cylinder part, which by the way is shaped like this, it's tapered slightly. I'm going to score and slip around the top there. So I'm just going to apply a nice generous amount of slip. And then anytime two pieces of clay are being joined, we always want to make sure they're both scored. If we put a generous amount of slip on one part, we don't have to slip both pieces. And I'm just going to wrap that around to create this cone. Now, some of you might say, well, can I do the waffle cone, or can I do, but then you might want to lay your sculpture down. It's not going to sit. Like I'm trying to create a structurally sound bottom for this piece to sit. Almost looks a little bit like a flower pot at this point, but once we get the ice cream on. So I just want to show you guys from the top view. Okay, I have the bottom piece and the top piece. You could also, by the way, before applying this top piece, you could stamp it. Like you could see here, I stamped it with just a rectangle to create that texture at the top. So that's possible. All right, so for the ice cream, for both scoops of ice cream, what I did was I took a slab, and I'm just going to cut a circle, and I'm pinching it. I'm going to use the palm of my hand to kind of push it into. You could also use a bowl to do what we call slumping. So I could take this bowl and I could slump the clay in there to get that. And this isn't really a deep bowl. I might want to use something a little deeper, but you could see how it rounds the top. Slumping is a great way to get kind of a curved surface, okay? But I want to exaggerate that a little bit. And I also want to notice how that this food sculpture project is very much about texture. So you could see here the texture of the ice cream. And I'm going to put this down on the table, and I'm just going to like crush up my edges, but try to keep the part that I created to the curve, try to maintain that curve. So I'm just crushing this up. I just want to show you what that looks like. It's almost like looks like a fried egg a little bit. Okay, and I'm just going to keep crushing. Now that this is for like hard ice cream that you would scoop, but you could also play around with texture of the clay to create the soft ice cream. I would also do it with a slab, but maybe make a cone shape. And I'm just going to crush this up even more to get this to be more textural. And you could even, if you don't want to use your fingers, you could use the back of a needle tool and kind of crush that up a little bit. And then I just want to show you how that then would be slipped and scored, okay, onto the ice cream cone. And then, of course, if you wanted to add another piece, you would do it again. I'm going to just make a little bit of a smaller one. And I'm pinching this. I'm just pinching this, just putting my fingers on the inside and pinching to get that bowl-like form. And then put it down on the table here and just push the edges down to the table to get that texture. And now I can put another layer on top. Now, anytime you're trapping air inside two pieces of clay, it's really important for you to make sure that air can escape. So what I would do before slipping and scoring this piece down, I would put a little hole in this one to make sure that the airflow can go from here into here. And then when I was finished, and maybe if you just leave your bottom of your ice cream cone open, that's not a problem. Then the air, it doesn't explode in the kiln. But if you do want to put a bottom on it and finish it off nicely, you can see here I just put a hole in the bottom, okay, so that it's finished off nicely. All right, and that's all there is to it. You could decorate this once it's leather hard and all slipped and scored shut. You could put a cherry on top. You could see this one I finished off to look like bronze. So this one was just painted with a very dark brown paint, and then I went over it with the bronze metallic, and I kind of scumbled over the edge, over the surface to create that bronze look. But you could also paint these very, more realistic, like we saw in the burger. Okay, and I will continue. I think I'll do part 2 on this when this is more leather hard.